The headlines. Suspected kidnappers kill traditional ruler of Garin-Modibo town in Taraba. NAF intensifies strikes on terrorist hideout as Governor Zulum warns of Boko Haram resurgence. Natasha wins at appeal court as senator-elect for Kogi Central. On the international scene, ceasefire, a matter of life and death for millions of Palestinians, according to the UN agency. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Sumaya Abubakar. Thank you for joining us, and now the details. The traditional ruler of Garin-Modibo, Muhammadu, has been gunned down by suspected kidnappers on Monday night. The gunmen invaded the town located a few kilometers away from Sunkani headquarters of Ardokola local government area at about 11:30 p.m. and also abducted 6 people. Daily Trust reports that the kidnappers also abducted 4 other persons, including a nursing mother in 2 other villages. The motive behind killing of the monarch may be connected with the late traditional ruler backing 4 vigilante groups in the area to fight against kidnappers and bandits. Hunters led by the state chairman of Hunters Association, Lentala Adamu, are reportedly in pursuit of the gunmen combing the forest and mountains in a bid to rescue the abducted persons. The chairman of Ardokola local government area, Dalhatu Kau, confirmed the incident, adding that matter has been reported to the Taraba state government. The spokesman of Taraba Police Command, SP Usman Abdullahi, has also confirmed the incident. Now joining us via phone is Daily Trust reporter Magaji Hunkoyi to answer a bit of, tell us more about the situation. Magaji, thank you for joining us. Now give us an update on the attack and what the authorities are saying at this moment.
Thank you very much. The police spokesperson in Taraba State, SP Usman Abdullahi, confirmed the incident. And he said the police are doing their best under the special police force to rescue those abducted, and then also to dislodge the bandits out of the area.
So what is the situation like in Garin-Modibo today, and how are they reacting to this development?
Yes, the area has been under the siege of bandits. The villages in Ardokola and other local government for the first few weeks have been under siege of bandits and kidnappers. So the entire town is thrown into confusion. And apart from even killing the traditional ruler, his wife and his son were also among the 6 abducted in the town.
That's a really sad situation there. So, in our understanding, the traditional ruler's killing might be linked to his support for local vigilantes in fighting banditry. Is that what you are hearing over there? Is that the feedback the people are saying?
Yeah, his stand is that the youth have been protecting the area, and I think the bandits are not happy. They have been going from one village to another village to first time when they were succeeded in invading the town, and maybe his son may be the reason why they killed him.
All right. At this moment, you mentioned, of course, that the wife and sons are among the 6 people of that were kidnapped. So what is the authority saying about getting those kidnapped people back?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, the hunters are in the bush, they're in the forest and the mountain area in an attempt to rescue them. And then the special force, according to the chairman that are stationed in the place, because the local government area in recent terms have experienced these issues of kidnapping and banditry. So I think that is why the special force were stationed in the place. So all the police are saying is that the only is that they confirm the incident and then there was no further detail on the resident too.
It's really a sad situation. We do hope that the perpetrators are brought to book. Thank you so much, Magaji Nkoyi, Daily Trust reporter. Thank you for joining us at this hour.
Thank you very much.
All right, moving on from that, the Nigerian Air Force has intensified airstrikes against identified terrorist hideouts and enclaves in Borno State over the weekend. The strike was sequel to an intelligence report from land component of Operation Hadankai on developments in the market or in the Mata area. Meanwhile, a police officer deployed to Mopol 53, Inspector Luka, has been killed by suspected Boko Haram terrorists in his farm at Indimi Housing Estate, Bama, Borno State. Meanwhile, the Borno State Governor, Professor Babagana Zulum, has raised an alarm that Boko Haram insurgency is threatening to destabilize Nigeria if the humanitarian crisis in the northeast is not contained. Professor Zulum says the continuous existence of IDP camps in local government areas of Borno State is a potential time bomb as they serve as recruitment grounds for Boko Haram and ISWAP. While lamenting the number of people in the IDP camps, Zulum says the development has worsened the plight of the people. He called on the Northeast Development Commission to intervene by partnering with the state government to close the IDP camps so that people can earn their means of livelihood independent of humanitarian support. Educating girls' child remains a top priority for Nigeria as stakeholders harp on the need for parents to consider the education of their daughters as a step in the right direction as against the practice of early or forced marriages. Now, this was the theme of an event in Yola, the Adamawa state capital, on the challenges militating against the education of girls in the state. Silas Lawan has the report.
The phenomenon of early or forced marriages has become a militating factor against the education and well-being of young girls in school, as some are unable to finish due to the practice. With Nigeria battling to control the rising number of out-of-school children, stakeholders at this event are raising awareness over the need for a robust commitment to the education of young girls across the state. Educationists believed proficiency in STEM subjects will go a long way in building the capacity of young girls in school, directly adding value to the society.
Look at the problem of the girl child's access to education they have, or want them to complete education successfully. So that's why we decided to intervene at JSS 3 and SS 3, where they normally fail and stop. So we're training them. Our students are coming to support them with homework support and prepare them for exams so that they can pass their exams and continue to university or college of education or polytechnic.
Investing in girls through education can positively transform communities and the world at large due to improved productivity and quality of life.
Some of our very best students are women. And what we know is almost every country in the world is at least 50% women. When you have that much of the population women, you have to make sure that you're empowering that next generation. And when you do that, societies grow, economies grow, and people have a better quality of life and poverty is eradicated.
We're in a society where most of them end up getting married immediately after secondary school. For us, we are not against marriage after secondary school. But I just advise that when the girls are getting married, they should be conscious of who to marry. They may be as good as anything we might prepare them for being the best girls you can think about. We might give them the best education. They might have the best results. If they marry the wrong person, all the dreams will be killed. For us as a government that is interested in inclusive education, this is a booster to ensure that to our efforts in ensuring our girls go to school. Not only do they go to school, but they get returned and get the best results at the end of the day.
There is a consensus that girls' education can strengthen communities and reduce inequality across board. Silas Lawan, Trust TV News, Yola.
In politics, the appeal court in Abuja has upheld the judgment of the Kogi State Election Petition Tribunal, citing Senator Sadiku Ohere as senator representing Kogi Central Senatorial District of the state. The Election Petition Tribunal in Lokoja had declared Natasha Akpoti Uduagan as the winner of the February 25th Kogi Central Senatorial election. Delivering the ruling today on Tuesday, the Court of Appeal upheld the decision of the tribunal, declaring Natasha Akpoti as the legitimate representative of Kogi Central. It held that the appeal by Sadiku Ohere challenging the judgment of the tribunal lacked merit. The presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in the February 25th election, Atiku Abubakar, has called for major reforms in Nigeria's electoral law that will fast-track litigation and promote effective electoral processes that will enhance Nigeria's democracy. The former vice president made the appeal while reacting to the Supreme Court verdict at a press conference in Abuja, reiterating his commitment to staying politically active. Trust TV's Shafil Suleiman reports.
Speaking on the outcome of the Supreme Court judgment regarding the discovery from the Chicago State University, the former vice president accused the judiciary of legitimizing certificate forgery, identity theft, forgery, amongst other allegations.
If the Supreme Court, the highest court in the land, implies by its judgment that crime is good and should be rewarded, then Nigeria has lost, and the country is doomed irrespective of who occupies the presidential seat.
Atiku says he is not leaving Nigeria despite losing his case at the Supreme Court, as claimed in some quarters, maintaining that he will remain active in politics to deepen Nigeria's democracy while highlighting the gaps in Nigeria's electoral and judicial systems that need urgent reforms.
As for me and my party, this phase of work is done. However, I'm not going to go away. If you think I'm going to go away, forget about it.
Also speaking at the conference, the PDP National Chairman Umar Damagun says the PDP, as the main opposition party, will not be deterred by the Apex Court judgment on the outcome of the presidential election. Instead, it will remain resolute in the task of rescuing the country from bad governance.
We may be disappointed, but one thing I want to reiterate here is that we are not deterred. We are not deterred because we know what is on the ground, we know what happened, and they said only the truth can reign.
The PDP presidential candidate who came second in the February 25 election was at the Supreme Court to challenge the verdict of Presidential Election Court, affirming President Bola Tinubu's mandate as he sought to admit his findings at the CSU on alleged certificate forgery, which was turned down by the Apex Court. Shapir Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The Federal Executive Council has approved a supplementary budget worth 2.176 trillion naira to fund urgent projects and commitments of the federal government. Minister of Budget and Economic Planning Atiku Bagudu revealed this to newsmen on Monday after a meeting of the Federal Executive Council. He spoke on the day the cabinet approved the award of contracts for the construction of Access Road to Abuja Light Rail at the cost of 5.5 billion naira. Kende Amodu reports.
There was always going to be a supplementary budget with the financial commitments the president had entered into while trying to steer the ship of state through stormy waters. This supplementary budget is aimed at funding urgent issues pertaining to national defense and security, for which 605 billion naira has been set aside. In addition to this, 300 billion naira has been earmarked to repair bridges, including the Eko and Third Mainland bridges. Equally, the sum of 210 billion naira has been provided in the budget for the payment of wage awards and 400 billion naira as cash transfer payments.
Equally, there is a question on the wage award. Why did I say September, October? This is a supplementary budget for 2023. So the supplementary budget is providing money for this year. Whatever is incidental to this year, whatever is for 2024 will be included in 22. In fact, that is why this budget even became urgent, because we negotiated with Labour. They were promised payments will be made this year for some categories of the negotiation, and there was no budgetary provisions.
Meanwhile, the Council of Ministers approved 5.5 billion naira for access roads to the Abuja Light Rail. This is in addition to 100 billion naira that has been provided in the supplementary budget for urgent and immediate capital expenditure works in the Federal Capital Territory to enhance infrastructure.
Council approved the award of contract for the construction of access roads for the Abuja Light Rail. You are aware that Mr. President has given a directive that he want to ride on the metro line. And now it will not be possible if there are no access roads to commuters, to communities around. Last week, Council did approve about 3, but this one has to do with Lot 4. Lot 4 has to do with communities around the airport, and then where you have the Hajj camp.
The Independent National Electoral Commission has been provided with 18 billion naira to conduct elections in Bayelsa, Kogi, and Imo states. Meanwhile, 5.5 billion naira was provided for the funding of the Student Loans Board, while 8 billion naira was set aside for the takeoff grant of new ministries. From State House, Abuja, Kehinde Amudu, Trust TV News.
The International Organization for Migration has facilitated the return of 99 stranded Nigerians from Niger Republic on Monday. The returnees arrived at the Murtala Muhammad International Airport, Lagos, and were received by the National Emergency Management Agency on behalf of the federal government. Niger Republic remains unstable after the military coup that ousted President Bazoum in July this year. The unrest in Niger Republic has left some Nigerians stranded, with the IOM facilitating their evacuation back to Nigeria. According to the breakdown of the returnees, there are 15 female adults, including 2 with medical cases, and 60 male adults, 7 female children, 15 male children, 1 male and 1 female infant repatriated. You're watching News Update on Trust TV. Coming up, Kaduna residents groan over estimated billing as metering program falls short. These and more after the break. Stay with us.
This is Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back to Trust News Update on Trust Television at this hour. Let's take a look at the recap of our top stories. Suspected kidnappers kill traditional ruler of Garin Modibo town in Taraba. And NAF intensifies strikes on terrorist hideouts as Governor Zulum warns on Boko Haram resurgence. Moving on to more stories, the House of Representatives Committee on Public Accounts has issued a 72-hour ultimatum to 6 heads of the federal government agencies and higher educational institutions to appear before the panel to answer queries emanating from the Office of the Auditor General of the Federation over 300 billion naira audit query. The House Committee further stated that the latest invitation of the 6 agencies and institutions is the final warning before a warrant of arrest would be sought by the committee. Chairman of the House Committee, Honorable Bamidele Salam, gave the warning at the resumed hearing of the committee after the agencies failed to honor the committee's invitation. According to the committee chairman, the invitation of the heads of the agencies to the investigative hearing was to answer questions on the queries from the report of the Office of the Auditor General of the Federation to the committee.
Some of these agencies had been in the habit of treating invitations and summons by the Public Accounts Committee with contempt in the previous assembly. And if they do not know, it is a different ball game this time around. And we are going to use all the powers donated to us by the Nigerian people through the Constitution to ensure that every kobo, every naira of the Nigerian people given to anyone to spend is spent in a lawful, prudent, transparent and accountable manner. Anything short of that will not be acceptable.
The power of investigation that's given to us is in our ground law. Section 88 of the Constitution is very clear. Section 89, subsection 1C, gives us the power to invite anybody, and that witness must appear.
Nigeria's power sector has been undergoing reforms for the past 2 decades, with privatization positioned as the solution of underdevelopment and underperformance of the industry. The gradual transition from estimated billing through the provision of prepaid meters is not moving fast enough to cover customers, despite the government's national mass metering project. Now, some unmetered residents in Kaduna are decrying the difficulties involved in getting prepaid meters as they are forced to continue paying estimated bills. Trust TV's Bello Musa has more on the story.
Power supply is a big challenge in Nigeria for residents and businesses who remain underserved, despite billions of naira spent to reposition the industry. Estimated billing, which has been the practice for decades, is still operational today as the national mass metering programs fell short of expectations, with millions of households unmetered and unhappy.
For me, personally, I think the billing was better than this prepaid. The prepaid is nice because it's, it's efficient. Like, you can buy a card very fast. You can load from your phone, from your mobile phone. It's easy. But the rate, the tariff is very high. So
prepaid is something that if you don't have a source of income, that you at the end of the day you have a lot of electric appliances in your house. Honestly, you cannot be able to meet them.
Haruna Hanapi is a small business operator who pays for electricity using estimated billing to run his business. Haruna remains unmetered because prepaid meters are hard to come by.
Babu wanda ya taba kawo mana ita. Hasali ma mun yi nema akan ta don.
No one has ever brought the meter to us. We tried to get it, but we were told that we have to pay 40,000 naira after booking, and it will reach 3 to 4 months before we get the meter.
Su ma can in an kawo sannan su zo su sa mana.
According to some residents, prepaid meters are still being bypassed, leading to energy theft by some customers.
50% of those using prepaid, they are bypassing. 50% of those using prepaid, they are bypassing. That's why you notice that some of those residential areas now, all those new areas, settlement, you will notice that if they want to build their meter, they will put it inside their room. Because they know in the afternoon, when the neighbors will be walking around just to check whether you bypass your meter, they cannot be able to check in.
Energy thefts, either in the form of meter bypass, meter tampering, illegal connection or illegal extension of supply, is one of the greatest threats to energy accountability and revenue assurance. And the company is seriously bleeding as a result of these activities.
According to reports, illegal connections have led shortfall in revenue for electricity distribution companies. In 2022, the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission revealed that the total billings to consumers by the distribution companies was 1.185 trillion naira. Only 841.81 billion naira was collected, leaving a total outstanding balance of 343.50 billion naira. The multifaceted challenges in the power sector continues to linger as Nigerians hope for better days ahead. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
From the international scene, an immediate ceasefire is now a matter of life and death for millions in Palestine, according to the head of the United Nations Agency for Palestinian Refugees, while speaking to a UN emergency meeting on Monday, warning that basic services are crumbling in Gaza and medicine, food, water, and fuel are running out. Meanwhile, Thailand's foreign minister begins an urgent visit to Qatar and Egypt on Tuesday for talks on the fate of 22 Thais taken hostage by Hamas in its attack on Israel. Prime Minister Srettha Thavisin said Monday that his government will be working hard to get Thai citizens home. Israel is running a hard-hitting online campaign targeting mostly Europeans with shocking images and testimonies from the attacks carried out by Hamas on October 7th. Israeli officials are going back on their promised refusal to grant entry visas to UN officials. Israel has warned its citizens to leave the northern Caucasus after a mob stormed an airport in Russia's Dagestan region when a flight from Israel landed there. The attack seemed to be partly fueled by anger as Israel's action in Gaza, where it has been at war with Hamas following a deadly incursion by the militant group earlier this month. And finally, in sport, Lionel Messi has won the 2023 Ballon d'Or as he becomes the first player to win the award, a record of 8 times. Lionel Messi was named the winner of the Ballon d'Or ahead of the Erling Haaland of Manchester City in Paris on Monday night. Before this year's edition of the award, the 36-year-old Argentine football icon had won the award for a record of 7 times, 2 more than his rival Cristiano Ronaldo. And with that, we wrap up News Update on Trust TV. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms and join our YouTube live stream for more news programs and documentaries. I am Sumaya Abubakar. Thanks for watching.